New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hi, and welcome to Rockin the Love. I am Robyn Olmstead.
And I'm Gil William Olmstead, and we are here with you most every Wednesday, sharing our time, having a good time, talking about relationship and the joy of those things. Connection, love, movement, whatever.
Whatever. That is a vast topic, that whatever. That could be a whole show. Whatever.
It could be much bigger than a show. It could be a series.
Okay. All right. But it's not right now, even though it is clearly appearing in the mind of God. Therefore, it may be in some time. Right now, our show today is about what's hope got to do with it. Oh. But before we go there.
Yes?
Tell them what to do.
Well, make sure that you like us, that you click on the various things. You go to the YouTube page, you go to the
social media
website, the social media, and just say hello and give your love a little bit. And then, of course, during the show, we love to have you comment while we're on, ask questions, add to the conversation. So please know that we want to hear from you.
We do. It's so much more fun when we get to talk to you. So, how was your week?
My week's been good. Thank you. I have been just having a good week. A lot going on. And that's normal. And it feels like a lot of movement toward things that I've been looking forward to and hopeful about. And so it's kind of a good thing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
What about you?
My week is good. It's been good. The last week was good. It's when we ask that question, I really should think about it beforehand because it's so hard to even remember what happened last week. But I think, it gets a little staticky with all that's going on in the world. And, we've been watching a lot of YouTube stuff because we don't watch the news or whatever. So we watch the little clips and, the Jimmy Kimmel clips and the Colbert clips and all those kind of things, Seth Meyers. And so it's interesting. I mean, I think it's like an emotional roller coaster. Even if your emotions aren't like totally invested, it's like there's still this piece of you that's in the mix. You know what I mean? So I feel sometimes it feels a little anxious. You feel like that?
Well, not sure what's going to happen next. I think for me, a lot of that was alleviated. Not alleviated, lessened with the fact that Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air. And the reason for that is because it felt like the outcry of the people who said this isn't okay, and the people that canceled their subscriptions, and the people that put things on the internet and said that's not okay, and the people that that wrote to him and said, hey, we're with you. All of that contributed to something moving in a direction that seemed like the right one. And that lessened my anxiety, because then I thought, okay, yes, it's still possible to turn this boat around.
So basically what you're saying is you leaned into the illusion that we have some power.
I suppose. It wasn't even that we have power, it's that we have
There's a change happening.
We have intention. My concern was that there wasn't enough intention to even motivate the power. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that is quite interesting, all of that happening, and I have to say I felt that Jimmy Kimmel was extremely gracious when he came back on the air, and not everybody is very happy with it. So there you go.
Yeah, well, that's normal, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So welcome everybody. We see you joining in there. Welcome Mara. Welcome to all of you. Yeah. Well, if it does feel like a step, I don't know. Like I know I read this somewhere too, that there's like one win for the Democrats or and I don't know. I mean, yes, it feels like that, and it's a weird way to look at it. I hate this scorekeeping and us and them mentality. Because nobody wins.
Well, nobody wins on the one hand when we think that way, and the reality is everybody won with this. Everybody. I don't care. I don't care who it is. I don't even the ones who are attempting to create, to limit other people. It still helps them in the long run, because their right to speak out is preserved.
I don't know who you've heard that wasn't for it, but not according to Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne Barr's always been a little questionable in her thinking.
I understand that, having met her and waited on her and interacted with her. I understand what you're saying. And if I just go by, she has all the same rights that we do. And, just because, I mean, I do think she's being a little closed-minded, but,
But she has have the right to say it.
Yeah, she has, exactly.
She has the right to say it. The difference is you don't have the right to implement it. You can say, I believe this is what should happen. I think this is what needs to be done. But you don't have the right to go out and force that upon others.
And I think what she said when she got kicked off the air was different.
Oh yeah, she doesn't see the difference between the two. And yes, there's a difference between society not tolerating discrimination and non-inclusion versus society not tolerating anything. Again, people can speak their mind, but if they do it in such a way that insults others on a regular basis, and what did I hear yesterday? If someone is in the room and someone else doesn't acknowledge who they are because they're another color, because they're another gender, they're another whatever it is, if that is what happens, then there is no conversation. If you simply disagree, you can walk into the room and have a disagreement. But if someone doesn't recognize your full rights as a human, then you can't have an equal conversation. And my sense is that's part of where that gets shifted, is when people come into it and go, you don't have a right to blah, 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 blah. I don't even recognize you. And when that happens, then that shifts the whole conversation. You're no longer just expounding free speech. You are lowering somebody else. You're not just saying I disagree with you and I think you're a nut.
I hear you.
You know,
yeah.
That isn't going to work. Look at that. That won't work. You know.
I hear you, and I think that that's partially what she's saying is that this happened. This happened to me because I'm a woman. And the network, the powers that be, wouldn't let that go by. Whereas because Jimmy Kimmel is part of the club, you know, he's a man, and it's a different story.
And if that indeed is the case, that's a learning point for all of us. That should be looked at. I mean, I'm not saying that there's nothing to look at in her case.
And I'm not saying that I agree with her.
Right.
I'm simply saying that, you know, not everybody is happy and feels like, oh, yay, free speech. Whether Jimmy Kimmel's out of the picture, they feel like they're still, you know, stunted.
Right. And as long as there are those who feel that they're unable to speak freely, then that colors the whole thing. And if we don't at least deal with the cases that we recognize, we don't at least offer our concern when it shows up right in our face like this, then those people who currently feel like they're pushed on the outside, there's no way they'll ever be included because it just continues to uninclude more and more people.
Yeah, and I think it's a great word. I think also, you know, when I read her stuff or when I've heard her speak a long time ago about this, and Jimmy Kimmel, when I look at him, the difference for me too is where are they coming from, you know? And I think that he did a good job in staying quiet, staying back, and speaking up when it was the appropriate time from that place of understanding, compassion, whatever, you know, and I don't feel the same energy from her. I feel more that victim, I've been wronged energy, which may be true, and I'm not trying to deny that experience, but it's, again, I mean, if we're talking about what we talk about, you know, it's about changing your life through the power of love, through the power of, you know, new thought, through the power of positive affirmations. Or
yeah, and if indeed she was coming from that space of free speech for all and loving all of that, I believe one would be able to come forth in a positive manner, even while saying it's very unfortunate that it didn't feel like that could happen when I went through this process. But I'm very happy to see that it's happening now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And I think that's the concern. I mean, that's the difference. When we show up from a place of, like you said, love and compassion, we're not showing up to try to prove and tear someone else down. We're attempting to add to the conversation.
Yeah, that's powerful. I think that's an important thing to learn. And I think all parents and teenagers should learn that. And parents first.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, enough of that. Let's talk about some good news.
Good news.
Time for the good news. You want to talk about it?
Sure, I'll talk about it. All right. So who has not been to a party or an event where there were those red Solo cups, or been by a school where something is written in red Solo cups on the chain link, through the chain link fence, right? They're ubiquitous, as we say, everywhere. And my good news story is about a young woman who wanted to move into the area of what's the right word for it?
environmentally
environmentally sound
recirculation. Yeah.
Okay, and so he has put out a line of clothing that comes from recycled Solo cups. Not only does she recycle the Solo cups, but she makes a line of clothing which creates a whole new universe. And they don't have dyes in them, and they don't because they're made differently. They're not being cut out of sheets of fabric, so there isn't the waste of fabric.
It's incredible.
It's quite amazing.
And they're soft.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be kind of so nice.
No, but a soft material.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know what it was going to be made out of, a plastic cup.
Right. You think it's like one of those old wool sweaters.
Yeah. I think that's amazing. Is there more?
No, I mean, I just think that the idea of that is very positive, and it goes to show what we can do when we take away the box and allow ourselves to think.
Yes, I agree. And that was going to be my story, but something told me you were going to do that story. So I went to another story I thought you might do, but you didn't find it, I guess. And this is about startup extracts nickel from daisies.
Daisies?
Yep. Boosting electric vehicle sustainability.
Sustainable. That was the word I was looking for.
Sustainable. There you go. So this is about, nickel is expensive, and people are trying to rethink how to, get different energy sources. And so they, instead of like nickel mining and doing that and depleting, the forest and water and all those things that come from doing that, someone had the solution from and decided that they were going to do a sustainable approach, and they started going to daisies and the nickel that is found in the soil that that can be stored there. And
found in the soil where the daisies are planted, or it actually goes into the daisies themselves?
Oh, what? When I do a story, can I just do a story? If they have questions, they'll ask me. Damn, otherwise I'm going to start giving you my stories to read. So I don't know. I don't retain these things, but no, they did that, and then they went through and did a bigger version of the daisies that can absorb twice as much nickel as the daisies before.
Okay, so the daisies themselves absorb the nickel and somehow they process it out of them.
Out of the soil.
That's quite amazing.
Yeah.
And that nickel is important to the production of batteries as we make them today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And batteries, as we know, because we have an electric car, are expensive.
Yeah, buddy.
Right? We had a car that had an accident, and they were going to total out the car because the battery cost how much?
Because the battery costs more than the car.
Yeah.
More than the sticker price on the car.
Right. Yeah. So they're operating a pilot program in South Africa, and it's called phytomining, and they've created a daisy crops, and they flourish the good thing about them is they grow every 4 to 6 months, and so they're easy to grow and harvest, and there you have it.
Wow. Talk about a whole new issue with people stealing the flowers out of the field.
Well, and afterwards they pulverize the flowers that are left to go into making nickel as well.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing. Kudos to all of you all that have these brains and the gumption to do this, because it's amazing. I don't know. I remember my science teacher, and one thing my science teacher taught me, but I remember he was always giving us information. The one thing I remember is a thing is what it is, which clearly has served me, because here I am in New Thought, telling people in all different ways, it just is what it is. All right. Okay. So those are our good news stories. People out there in the world rocking the love in all different industries, making the world a better place and better air and better energy sources. And it's an amazing thing. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what's hope got to do with it. We welcome you, Shay, and all of you out there. And come back with us and talk to us. Talk to us about hope. We'll see you in a few minutes right back here on New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
What I love about Anton is the community, the people. I get to come here every year and pick up right where I left off with so many wonderful soul-centered friends.
This is our first time here, and I can't tell you the joy I've felt listening to the wonderful words of the people who are teaching us and sharing with us.
I've enjoyed every topic that's been talked about, and I've enjoyed the people. They're knowledgeable, they're loving, and it's a great space to spend a few days for yourself and for others.
You feel the love. It is literally palpable.
Hi, I'm Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer, Board President of the Affiliated New Thought Network, Anson, speaking to you live and direct from Unity Village outside of Kansas City. We are a beloved spiritual community, and we'd love to have you join us.
So if you're thinking about it and you'd like to have a deep dive into your own soul and connect with others that are doing the same thing, then you might want to consider coming to the Anton Retreat next year, 2025, here at Unity Village. Peace and blessings to you.
And we are back. Welcome to Rockin the Love. I'm Robyn.
And I'm Gil, And we are here today to talk about hope. How did
What's hope got to do with it?
Thank you, because I knew it was very, I don't know. I'm feeling a lot of sorts today.
Okay. Well, take a breath and buck up, buddy. Okay. What am I going to say?
I don't know. All right. So we're going to talk about hope. You're hoping I'll buck up, aren't you?
All right. So hope. So the reason this came up was because those of you that are familiar with what the topics are for the weekly Science of Mind, Centers for Spiritual Living conversations, talks, sermons, whatever you want to call them. The topic this week was Mission Possible. And it was about the journey of hope.
Yeah.
And tools to uncover hope. And this brought a reaction from young Gilbert. That's not his name. His name's Gil. There's no Gilbert. But we'll say why.
Well, I had the question, so hope feels like it's putting something off into the future. We have hope for something out there. And what we talk about, a new thought, is about this idea of being in the present and knowing that what we are seeking exists right here and right now. Okay. And so that was my question. And my thought was, particularly in some cases, you think of some people that go, well, I hope that'll happen. And what they really mean is, I have no intention of doing anything, but, I hope it'll happen. And then there are other people who have hope for something to happen and they see the possibility and they're working toward it. So it's just sort of that, what are the two? How do they go together? How are they different, or are they different?
Do you really believe that?
I really do believe. I think some people it's a fallback.
Oh.
Well, I hope so.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I don't think that I think they hope so. I don't think they believe that it's not going to happen.
No, but they don't believe that it can be done necessarily. We have world peace. Well, I hope so.
Okay, so that was the reasoning. So just so you know, that's where we're starting right now.
You can tell we both fully agree.
I hear you, but I don't understand why you don't understand. Because to me, it's like I feel like you're having way too you're getting way too stuck in like some story about hope. And I think that hope, it's like a stepping stone to having vision. Like if I haven't thought about something or wished for it or thought it was possible or hoped for it to happen, then I can't have vision on some level. And I got really caught up, but I wanted to say hi to Motion. Hi, Motion. Thank you for joining us. So yeah. And as I did some exploration, I looked up the science of hope, because that's basically what the topic is. And so what I found a few places was, hope is the belief that the future will be better and you have the power to make it so.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hope is based on three main ideas: desirable goals, pathway to goal attainment, and willpower to pursue these goals or these pathways. Which I think, to me, is something that we do every day. Like we may not say, oh, I hope I get through the day, or I hope I get this done. We do say, I hope I get this done about 92 times a day. But those are the stepping stones to what we do. And then we create the pathway to make that happen. Right?
Yes. If it's a pathway, we could go to Yoda. There is no try, only do. There is no hope it'll happen. There's only doing it, making it happen.
Okay, but what does that have to do with the pathway?
I'm just saying, if you don't have a pathway, if you don't have any of that, then it becomes the example I just said.
Right. So you're saying if I sit here and go, oh, I hope I'll make $1 million today, and I don't do anything.
Right. Or I hope I finish this thing, but I'm going to go to bed and sleep. I mean, it's not, you didn't create a pathway. Like, okay, if I work for an hour and I go to bed for 3 hours and I get up and I can finish this thing and I'll have it done by morning.
Okay. I
No
got you.
idea.
I got you. So clearly
I'm stuck.
there's a deeper issue for you to explore. Because my hope doesn't really take that journey. It doesn't go that way. If I'm hoping for something to happen or wishing for it to happen or thinking whatever, then the next step is the next step. If I am hoping for something to happen and I decide I'm taking a nap, then I've changed the course of my, outcome. It's not like I've lost hope, I'm taking a nap. Does that make sense?
But there's another piece with this for me, and that is that for me, hope is really, for me, it's really the belief in possibility. Because because hope says there's potential for something there's potential for change and movement. And if I don't believe in possibility, if I can't see any of that stuff, then a positive sense of hope doesn't exist for me.
Okay. All right. So I hear you. And I think there's two things. First of all, I want to say that because this is the science of hope, I just want to say that what I found was there's also a University of Oklahoma, that has a department for the science of hope. And they've been working on this for over 12 years and really exploring the science behind this. But one thing I found when I was reading the Psychology Today article, because I generally go to them, and this I thought might be helpful for you. The new science of hope. Hope is the only positive emotion that requires negativity or uncertainty. And it focuses on depression and anxiety.
That requires it?
Yes, because
Okay.
you have to come from somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to go to the next place.
Okay. So you have to come from some place of unease and dis-ease, if you will, of depression, of discomfort, to be able to move into hope.
Yeah, on some level, right?
Okay.
And so it feels like hope is that tool that can move you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that the article is all about people having how rampant depression is, and people being depressed, and like that's the step to get them out, and that it doesn't always work, but it's a continual learning.
And part of that, okay, so in order to move into that space of hope, I have to shift my thinking away from all that negative stuff, right? I have to begin to see what's possible, and to trust that there's more than what I'm seeing directly in front of me. So what I'm seeing in front of me is,
Right. Which
sucks. However, right?
Right. Which goes to the point that we were talking about off air, where you brought up curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
which is another key component to life.
Mm-hmm.
And that, can you have hope without getting curious, without curiosity?
Mm-hmm. And I can see where that would be. Those would go hand in hand at some level, because again, possibility requires you to be curious. You have to go, I wonder if that works. I wonder if that is possible. I wonder if, we have to ask the question if we're truly curious about something. Otherwise, we already know the answer, and there's no reason to move forward, because whether the answer is A or B, we already know what it is in our minds.
Right. Right. And I think also, hope to me, this is just me, and I haven't really thought about this aspect though, but hope to me includes some dreaming on some level, or fantasizing, or, holding a vision forward. And I mean, I think there's a space where you go, well, what if I really did get my airplane pilot license and could fly planes, and being able to live into that vision.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There was something else I was going to say that you said that keyed off of that, but it went away.
So for instance,
Yes.
someone's relating a story of having an experience of being depressed and not being able to get out of their bed, basically not being able to motivate to go anywhere, to do anything. And until they finally got to where, okay, it's possible this could be better if I move, they really were stuck, And I think that's what we think about this idea of when we're in a space where we have no hope that anything can be different than it is, right? If we're in that kind of a space, then that's when those other things take over. So in saying that, I know some of the research in hope has worked with cancer patients, and they talk about the difference in patients that have hope for their future and what's going to happen versus those who do not. It changes their entire outlook.
Mm-hmm.
And does it change it, or is the fact that they change their outlook the fact that they now have hope? I don't know, but what I'm saying is, however that works, if someone is without the hope, meaning they can't see what's possible going forward, then it's hard. It's hard to move forward.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. And so what occurs to me when you're talking is that it's like in metaphysics, we're always talking about a dark night of the soul.
Uh-huh.
That's what a dark night of the soul is about. And, that when you can only emerge from that darkness in hope.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. And the Psychology Today article talks about how hope is the only positive emotion that requires negativity or uncertainty to be activated. That without that, bleakness, that sorrow, that pain, the spark for hope isn't ignited.
Okay. So if I have a relatively feel good about what's happening, I have a good sense of my future, I can see what's come, I know that it's good, et cetera, then I don't really need hope, is what I'm hearing. Because hope is that thing that kind of motivates you to the point where you can believe that it really is there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the word need, I don't want to get stuck on it, but it's like, I think you're holding a different energetic around it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if everything's great in your life and everything is going good, it's a question, are you in that field of hope, or are you in that field of knowing on some level that you can conquer the world, that things are good, and that, you know what I mean? So I think there's a different energetic, because do we keep
hoping?
Do we keep hoping in the same way?
Right.
As when it's coming off of trauma or sorrow or pain?
I just think it's really interesting. It's really interesting, and it almost feels like we circled back to the beginning you asked me what I thought or what my issue was, you know, with the hope, and that is, you know, can it be sort of a platitude versus can it be us going, okay, I can have the hope, I can hold possibility even when I can't quite hold that something is happening. I can hold the possibility for it. You know, sometimes we talk about being willing to be willing, meaning that in order to move, sometimes we have to go, I can't quite get this over here, but and I really can't quite grasp the idea of being willing to accept that, but I'm willing to be willing to accept it. It's almost like it's that step, you know?
Yeah, and so I hear you. I hear what you're saying, and it makes me wonder if, well, two things, because I'm back to curiosity, right? So it's like which comes first, you know, or does curiosity come after, to that stage that you're talking about where I'm good, my life is good, doesn't mean I don't want more or want to create more. And is that when you have planted the seeds and then you have the space to become more curious on some level?
I think actually, yes, you can become more curious as you walk in that curiosity, as you walk in that possibility. It opens us up to going, oh, I didn't see that coming, and it came, and I didn't see that even being possible, and it showed up. And so now I can go, well, wonder if this has happened. I wonder what happens over here. I never thought that would be good in my life, and it turns out it was. So I wonder what's coming next. I wonder, you know what I mean? It shifts that whole curiosity thing, because as we have experience.
I hear you. I really am curious what you all think out there. Come on, Shay, give us a nugget. Because I'm hearing that you're giving it a little more space.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm giving what more space? Curiosity?
No, hope.
Oh, hope.
That it is.
Yeah.
Because you started at a place of we don't need it kind of thing.
Well,
that
was my question about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. But it's that, for me though, I think I see hope as more of a bridge than the goal. And maybe that's exactly what it is.
Maybe right now, today, you see it that way. But what about the days when you're depressed and you can't get out of bed kind of day?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Then I guess it's a bridge then too to you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's listen to Shay, because she has something to say. Hope is a lifesaver. As someone who has struggled a lot with hopelessness, having hope is jumping up and down gratitude moment. Yes, having real hope. And I think the thing is that hope for me is based on this vision of possibility, and that's tied to understanding who we are and possibly our experience. When we have the experience with possibility, then suddenly it shows up. We're able to see it.
I hear you. And I'm with Shay. I mean, I feel Shay. I feel Shay when she says that it's, that it's jumping up for joy, gratitude moment, jumping up and down gratitude moment. Because that to me is the energetic of it. And I don't know, somatically, it's like you feel it in your body. And I feel like, not that you're wrong, but I feel like you're overthinking it. Like it means something else to you. Like somewhere along the way, your hopes were dashed or something, and you've got like this thing happening, because I don't know. It feels like so intrinsic. Is that the word? I don't know. It feels so important towards the steps of life and being and manifesting the life you want, and being happy in your soul. And I don't know, you're making it really hard.
Well, I hear you, and I'm not so sure that hope isn't sometimes our excuse for not believing in what is. We put it off through hope. I'm still hoping.
Again, so we have different interpretations of that word. We just do. Because when I say hope, I'm not giving anything up to anybody else. And you make it sound like I'm a doubtful person, and we'll see how this hope thing turns out. And I mean, yes, there's been times where I go, well, I hope so. And I don't feel maybe as attached to it, like it's mine to do or mine to create, that I hope for somebody else that that's the correct thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel it like you do. So I think this is really interesting what Shay just said. Hope and oh no, that's interesting too, Shay. Hope is for the emotionally privileged.
It's an interesting thought.
Serious.
Is that because we have to have a level of maturity and emotionality to get there? Is it because, I don't know, that's an interesting statement, Shay.
Well, I think that's what I'm hearing, and I think it makes sense in what I was reading to you about pain and depression. Like I'm guessing what Shay means is emotionally privileged, in that you're feeling your emotions and you're in a state of awareness, okayness, happiness, and you can have those emotions. Oh, this is exhausting. Okay, wait, I have to read the other ones. So hope and faith are closely related. That's another good conversation topic. And good.
Thank you, Mohsin.
Yeah.
Thank you for being with us.
Shay, I'm glad we can help your English even in our craziness. Okay. I understand, Gil. Sometimes giving up hope is even more the lifesaver. Having hope in something or someone that is actually hopeless can be detrimental to one's health.
Okay, so I think maybe she's grasping some of what I'm saying, that sometimes we hold out hope for something that's not really there, that we don't know, we don't see a pathway to, we don't attempt to create a pathway there because we're just hanging on. And I think in relationship, that's really fascinating. I think sometimes people are in relationships where they're holding on to hope, but it's just an excuse to not face what's going on. How's your head?
Well, it's interesting. No, it's just interesting that, I mean, yeah, so there is a positive to hope and a negative to hope. And holding on to hope for something that isn't happening or that is detrimental to you, in my mind right now, is different than the hope that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because we're not talking about people's false illusions or where people are coming from. We're just talking about the science of hope and what it brings in the positive.
So,
or as a, yeah.
So what flashed through my mind, and thank you, Shay, for that. Thank you, Mohsin, too. What flashed through my mind was the idea of, people in a plane crash. If they have no hope of being rescued from the mountain, and they can't hold any hope for that possibility, then their chances of keeping themselves alive until someone gets there is much lower than someone who is holding the knowingness and holding in hope that this is possible, that they will get here and they will take care of us.
Which is exactly what Shay said, in that hope and faith are similar.
Right.
Because you could put faith into that situation at any point, right? Yeah, so hope can be a form of or of denial.
Yeah, and it's not good in that respect. Yes, and I think that's kind of the second direction that I was going with it, was sort of that concept.
Well, I'm going to use the word "it's not good" loosely.
Well, yes, okay. I hear you.
All right, so just because I'm a big nothing's good or bad girl, so advocate. So I just mean that sometimes, even when it's not good, it's the way you learn the lesson, or the way you get pointed in the direction you need to get pointed.
Right.
Which is why we say it's all good. There you go. Yeah, well, this is interesting. I think with exploration, understanding really truly the science of hope and what they're discovering will bring even more light to the subject. I think that I think we're living in a time where hope is essential, that people are losing hope and wanting to find hope. And I think it's important to understand that and to be able to live into that.
So one of the other interesting things that came up with the hope research is that it shifts someone's resilience, meaning that when some kind of adversity or stress enters into their life, if they are a person who is hopeful, they have a much better and more positive outlook to what's going to happen next, even though they're in the midst of adversity and stress. Does that make sense? Because they're seeing, they're trusting that things happen out there. And I think that's where the hope and faith thing happens. It's really faith in things unseen at some level. Mm-hmm. And faith in things unseen is really the idea when we talk about it's already done. It's faith in things unseen. We say it's done. I can't see it necessarily, but it's done.
Right.
And it's done.
Right. And I think, thinking about that, it's also, I'm thinking about just kids and growing up. And that's all you have is hope on some level. Because you spend the whole time, well, not the whole time, spend a lot of your time as a child going, "Oh, I hope we go to Disneyland. Oh, I hope Santa Claus comes. I hope." Our dog apparently would like to do a sermon on hope, if you can hear them barking in the background. But yeah, so that's a whole different topic because they lead with hope. Everything's about hope. Oh.
Well, they trust. They trust in the possibilities.
All right. Welcome, Anita. Anita says, hope gives you a place to stand until you can get to the place of trust and faith in the things not yet seen.
Yes, that's what I was saying. It's kind of a bridge.
Yeah.
And it's moving you. It's allowing you to continue to know that there is a place to have faith. And I know that that's there. Yeah. Thank you, Anita.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you for speaking up and out, and thank all of you for listening and joining in. And yes, choose your hope wisely, hope in yourself, and not delude oneself. Yeah, but I love what Anita just said, and I think that's the truth, and that's what we'll go out on today, is just knowing that really we all have a place to stand, and we're holding that place for you, knowing that this world is thriving and is filled with love, and that you all are the ones that rock the love and bring that faith and trust and hope to the world. So we're just inviting you all to keep doing that, to take that out into the world and rock the love, y'all.
Rock on. Thanks so much. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.